Hey guys, this is Jen Hirsch, Corrective Exercise Specialist with Crossroads Chiropractic and Wellness. And the theme of today's video is glute and core stability. So for a lot of my clients, they're looking for just different ways, according to whatever muscle imbalances that they're going through, to kind of wake up their glutes during the day. So all of these exercises, generally if I give them to a client, I'm going to be having them do 2 sets of 10 to 20 reps, AM and PM for a while. Now, just know that anytime you start a new protocol, that you might need to ease into this. So personally, when I started this protocol, I was only able to do it once a day for 10 reps and then had to build into twice a day for 2 sets of 10 to 20 reps. So just know that it is a sliding scale, just depending on where you are in your recovery process. But generally, you're going to want to do these twice a day for 2 sets of 10 to 20 reps. Now, the first one, all I have today actually is a band. I don't actually have a belt here today. But for these, you'd want to use like a gait belt, a leather belt, something that actually doesn't have any give to it, because we want to make sure that this is an isometric activation. This can be done seated or this can be done on the ground, kind of depending on where you're at, right? So for people that on the ground might be too intense, we're going to start on a bench, and this band is going to be around the tops of my knees here like so. What I'm going to do at my extension, I want to make sure whether I'm on the ground or here that I'm not really going past my knees, right? I want to keep it right here. So for this, what we're going to focus on is I'm going to brace my core, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, and then I'm going to use that squeeze to extend out. I'm going to hold, and then basically hold until you feel fatigue. I want to really focus on being able to feel both glutes evenly. I also want to make sure I'm not feeling a ton of stuff on the outside of my hips. If you feel a lot on the outside of your hips, then what's happening is your hips are getting too fatigued. Start over. This is a great opportunity to try to feel both glutes evenly. This is a great opportunity to start teaching your glute squeeze that that's what you want for that external rotation. Now, what this looks like on the floor, right? Either way, I'm really focusing on that neutral pelvis. So rib cage is in line with hip bones. Taking that nice little exhale. Same concept. I'm going to squeeze glutes first and then push out into bands to make sure that the squeeze is coming from the glute itself, not from the outside of my hips. Now, next in our list is one of my absolute favorite core activations. I put McGill curl-ups in just about everybody's protocol. And what this is Dr. McGill designed these as back rehab. I don't even know how long ago. But essentially what this is teaching us to use that entire core, right? So I'm here. It doesn't matter which leg you start with, but you will end up switching, right? So I'm here, core is neutral. My hands are underneath the flat of my back, not to change it, but to keep me neutral, right? This gives you some proprioception to make sure that I have a neutral core. From here, I'm going to just make sure that my mid-back is slightly activated just so this is not, my neck is not doing the action. And I'm just going to use my breath to crunch my rib cage to my hips. Just like that. So I'm literally just crunching rib cage to hips. If your neck muscles are strong enough, you can add that little isometric hold at the end. My nose is going straight up. I don't feel any of this in my neck. I don't feel any of this in my low back. It is all right here. Now, next on our list is I like this for adductor activation through entire ranges of motions of the hip. So I'm going to be in a Frogger position like so, and I've showed this in other videos before, but this is one that I really like to kind of remind the adductors that they're supporting essentially your glutes in these ranges of motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hug the floor with my knees as I tuck up, hug the floor with my knees as I rock forward. And as you notice, the more I'm hugging, squeezing glutes and adductors into the ground, I'm getting better ranges of motion. And we're just reminding the hip complex that these guys and these guys are the ones that should be doing that work. Now, the last one is various forms of a reverse plank. Now, for some people, a reverse plank can be very triggering because they don't have the stability to do that. The nature of my injuries, a full reverse plank at this point is a little difficult. So, a couple modifications, right? So, a full reverse plank, right, would look very similar to this or very similar to this, right? I personally can't hold that very long. So for any of my clients that also find that triggering, what we can focus on is almost more of like a crab position or a tabletop position where I'm focusing my weight in this heel and this foot. I'm keeping my pelvis neutral again, and I'm just hand placement's wherever you're comfortable, right? For me, it's kind of out to the side. Neutral core, neutral pelvis, and I'm pushing the floor away with that heel and that opposite glute. And as you can tell there, I don't have a lot of range of motion in this, right? So this is one of those things where yours may look better than mine, but it's whatever range of motion you feel most comfortable. Heel is here, foot is here. I'm pushing that floor away by squeezing my glute and keeping my pelvis neutral. So work any version of that if you want. Even if just pushing the floor away is the way you want to start, great. If you want to start working in some isometric holds with that as well, awesome. Remember, neutral core. Remember to feel your glutes evenly and let them be the start of that action. And I would only stay as long or in whatever range of motion that you feel stable and start working up the strength and the stability of that range of motion.